Good afternoon, friends. Saturday afternoon, here we are, Raj and Aradhna Sava, bringing to you the weekly HungerMitao program. Through this program, we bring to you updates on food insecurity right here in North Texas area, as well as across the United States. We also share with you information on how the Indian American community is unifying to emerge as a big part of the solution to fight hunger across the United States as well as locally.
Thank you for joining us. As you know, our time with you is made possible by Fun Asia. And thank you, Neelam Dave, for hosting us during your community roundup hour. So like Raj said, not only will you get to know the hunger issue in the USA, but you'll also learn about all the ways in which each one of us, in the spirit of give where you live, can continue to make a difference. And this way, friends, we can ensure that no one around us goes hungry.
To learn more about how this volunteer-driven movement is unifying the impact of the Indian American community, mosey on over to www.hungermitao.org.
Whew, Raj, what a week this has been.
Yes, amazing week though.
Amazing week. We got a lot done. And we launched the 7th chapter of HungerMitao.
That was the highlight of the week, Aradhna.
Yes.
I mean, 100 people signed up. Several of them actually zoomed in for the session. It was exciting.
It was very exciting. It was such an interactive conversation. But I want to let our listeners know, 7th chapter of HungerMitao was launched on October 19th for Gleaners Food Bank in Detroit.
Michigan.
In Detroit, Michigan, yes.
That's right, yeah.
And in a way, it was sort of going back home for us because we are from Michigan.
Originally from Michigan, now of course Texans.
Yes, but it was a fantastic event, very enthusiastic audience, and we had a great time.
We had leaders from organizations like General Motors, Ford, Delta. We had a state representative.
Yes.
She came in.
Padma Kuppa came.
Exactly. And then, I have an idea, Aradhna.
Yeah.
I think in that session, we also spoke about what HungerMitao is.
Yeah.
Right? Several of our listeners may still want to know and learn more about what is HungerMitao.
That's a great idea, Raj. I think since we have new listeners joining in every week, it'll also be sort of a recap for them about what HungerMitao is, how it started, how it became such a national movement.
And the uniqueness of the model. It'll be wonderful. And for those who already know HungerMitao, friends, it'll be a great recap. So without further ado, I'm going to play the clip from the HungerMitao 7th chapter launch.
So I just want to say we are honored to be part of the HungerMitao movement. And we're really grateful for all of you that showed up today to join us in kicking off what we think is going to be an exciting chapter in our evolution as a food bank. And I now have the privilege of just briefly introducing Raj and Anna, who have been such important advocates for this issue of food security within the Indian community, but within the community of people who support food security. And in so many ways, in professional life and in your personal life, you've connected the dots between the people that want to get it done and the people that can get it done. So my understanding is you're at about 40 million meals of successfully just through HungerMitao, and that probably doesn't include all of the other things you've done personally to support this work. That's just HungerMitao, and I don't know if you're keeping tally of all those other things, but I think that's incredible. We know you're coming to Michigan soon, So we can't wait to see you. And again, thank you so much. And let me turn this over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jerry. Thank you, folks. This is just amazing. It's good to be back home virtually. As many of you may know, we are actually Michiganders. I came to United States back in 1974 from Mumbai to Michigan. And I was in Michigan for the first, 21 years of my life in Michigan. And then Anna was there with me for 13 years before we moved out to other locations. But it's good to be back home. Thank you very much, Jerry, Seal, Damali, team, all the folks who have joined in today. Thank you very much. HungerMitao is all about a community-driven movement, and without all of you, it would be empty. So thank you for joining. 4 years, that's amazing. We just celebrated 4-year anniversary of HungerMitao on September 29th. And this here today is our 7th chapter of HungerMitao being launched across the country. Mm-hmm. We are totally thrilled.
4 years, and like Jerry said, just over 40 million meals.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a story that the Indian American community should be really proud of. And it didn't happen by the efforts of 1 or 2 or 20 or 100 people. It took, it was communities that came together. It was discrete regional groups like the Gujaratis, the Maharashtrians, the Telugu, the Bengalis, everybody came together.
The Marwadis.
The Marwadis, yeah. Yes. So all of these smaller groups that now call US their home, they all came together. It was also made possible by companies, by business owners, by business leaders, by company ERGs, the Indian resource groups of companies like AT&T, American Airlines, Southwest, Accenture, Verizon. And I know we have several people from Ford, GM, Delta tonight. Yep. So it takes everybody's effort, but what made a difference was the unification of all these efforts.
You're so right, Anna. This was also possible because of the Christians, the Muslims, the Sikhs, the Buddhists, the Hindus, all coming together and declaring a war against hunger in our Karma Bhumi. And for my American friends, Karma Bhumi means the land where we make a living. This is our adopted land. And we really believe this country that has given so much to us, we have to find opportunities to give back. And what better opportunity than the basic necessity of a human being, which is food. So we are very excited that the community is joining forces, and they are doing this, by the way, this fight against hunger in 4 ways. They're doing it by lending their voice. They are raising awareness. They want to make sure they are not an ignorant community. They are raising awareness about the hunger issue that's right here in our backyard. They are doing this by getting out and volunteering with the food bank. Clearly the food bank, when they can provide 3 meals to $1, it's not by accident. It's because they have army of volunteers that come out there. So folks, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. And we also did it by conducting food drives.
That's right.
At our festivals, at our special occasions like birthdays, anniversaries, housewarmings, right? And of course, we achieved this goal by raising funds. And funds are needed because the food bank is making sure that every meal distributed is a nutritious meal. And there are times when the food bank has to go out and purchase food. And there are also costs around logistics. If you can't get the food at the right time to the right place, then the effort is lost.
That's right. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to be proud of, but I wanted to share something with you, a little bit about the HungerMitao story, if I may. How did HungerMitao come about, and what exactly is this animal called HungerMitao? So as I mentioned to you earlier, I've been in the United States since for 47 years now. Mm-hmm. All right. Anna has been here for almost 35 years, right? It was only 6 years ago when both of us came to know about the hunger issue in America. Only 6 years ago, we found out that 40 to 50 million people in America do not know where their next meal is coming from. As I said in my interview with WXYZ, that 40% of Americans are only $400 away from a crisis, right? When we learned about that, it was very, very unsettling.
We were shocked
Yeah.
for a couple of reasons. Number one, the magnitude of hunger. And number two, that we were unaware for so many years. I mean, that to us was shocking in itself.
Yeah.
So we decided to dig deeper. We did our due diligence. We joined several councils on North Texas Food Bank, which is our resident food bank. And we also found out what the solution was. And what we found out was, like Jerry mentioned, there's 200 food banks that are partners or members of Feeding America, and every county is covered. So we suddenly realized there's this mammoth engine that's working so well. So obviously we didn't need to recreate anything. We just needed to put our limited resources behind this juggernaut that works so well.
Exactly. So basically, when we came to an epiphany that it took us a long time to realize that hunger is an issue here in America. I mean, now imagine this. The entire world is trying to come to United States. United States is known as the land of milk and honey and plenty, right? Everybody's wanting to come here. We were involved in philanthropy for last 20 years, but our dollars were going in emerging countries, third world economies, our home country. So much of it still goes there, by the way. But when we realized that hunger is the issue right here, we said we need to get involved. So we basically went to the CEO of North Texas Food Bank and we gave them our $100,000 check. And then we gave them an idea. We said, unless you involve the community, the hunger fight will always be a hunger fight, uphill battle. So let's engage the community. So we said that just like how we were unaware of the hunger issue here in America, very likely people from our community are also unaware of it. So at that moment, Anna and I decided to give 3 years of our lives, full-time volunteering for the food bank to help raise the awareness of the hunger issue. And then engage the community in the fight against hunger by joining forces, by helping the food bank. The CEO was blown away. She said, well, we never heard of anything like this before, but you know what we will do? We'll get the hell out of your way and you guys go make it happen. And that's exactly what we did. Right after we announced HungerMitao, that was our slogan, that was our rally cry.
So what's HungerMitao?
I mean,
what is HungerMitao? What does it mean?
Okay, HungerMitao, I think most everybody should know by now. It means wipe out hunger. That was the slogan. We just wanted not long mission statements that people need to memorize. We wanted 2 words that people can hear and immediately know what do we stand for.
That's right.
And
HungerMitao is a volunteer movement.
Yes.
It's not an organization.
Exactly.
It's not a 501c3. It is evangelizing the need out there and the work that's being done by the food banks. It's truly, and all of us who are part of HungerMitao are basically engaging the community with the food bank.
Correct.
As such, HungerMitao doesn't touch any money. The relationship is between the donor and the food bank.
Exactly right. So actually, from that perspective, we found out that there are 4 ways that HungerMitao can help the food bank. First and foremost was to raise awareness within the community that hunger is an issue right here, and there's a need that they need to get involved, not just for them, but for the generations to come who have been born here, who will be living here. So that was one thing. Second, once the awareness is raised, we wanted to make kind of like what Anna says, take their crutches away. We wanted to give them simpler ways that they can engage. Money is not the only way. So we identified 3 ways, working with the food bank and Feeding America, that every one of us can get engaged. Number 1, volunteering. Number 2, food drives. Again, the food bank is able to get 3 meals to $1 because a large part of the food that they get is donated food. So we wanted people to convert their festivals, their special occasions to conduct food drives so that the needy are taken care of.
while we are also celebrating. And the third thing is very important, which is the funds. And this is something, friends who have joined for the first time, I want to share with you why we chose to throw our support behind the food banks. Food bank doesn't just put food in the bellies of the hungry. They provide nutritious food to the needy, because they are not creating an issue down the road by just throwing whatever food that is donated and make it available to them. They actually make sure that the right balance of fresh produce, fruits, vegetables, protein, etc., is actually sent out as the box for the seniors or the backpack for the children. And that's what we love about what food bank does. So for that, clearly they need funds to procure those special food items, and also those large trucks that will get the food out to the pantries and their partners. So I'll summarize, my friends. HungerMitao is a movement to connect the community with the food bank. We are not a 501c3. We don't touch any money. Every dollar donated by you goes directly to the food bank. Every can of food that you donate goes right to the food bank. Every hour that you volunteer goes right to the food bank. All we are trying to do is evangelize and get the community engaged. And I want to share with you, Indian community, we are from India. We are goal-oriented people. We are logical people. We are mission-oriented people. So when we launched HungerMitao in 2017, on 29th
September
September,
29th.
we set a goal. We put an ambitious goal out there saying that the Indian community will enable 1 million meals here in North Texas for the food bank. We had no idea how long it will take. And right after that, Anna and I got to work. From 2 people at Starbucks to 20,000 people at the football stadium. We went and spoke. We wanted to open up the eyes of our community and let them know that hunger is an issue, my friends, and we need to do something about it. Can't be ignorant.
And the interesting thing was, there were a lot of people who were just not aware.
Exactly.
It wasn't like they didn't want to support this. They just didn't know.
Exactly. And you know what? I'll tell you one thing. This is one thing very important for all of us to know. An immigrant community knows the value of a dollar more than anyone else, right? Because we have come here, we have established ourselves, we know what it takes to make that first dollars that we send back home to support family, dollar we are doing to get ourselves established. So to donate that dollar, we want to make sure that it in fact is going to the right cause. So they will take the time coming on board, but I want to share with you, friends, the Indian community, once they realize that this movement is transparent, has the highest level of integrity, and it actually is enabling food for the hungry, we actually crossed our first million meals in 7 months. We would have been happy, it would have been a year or so, but in 7 months, we crossed the first million meal. The word got out. 4 months later, 2nd million meals. The word got out across the country. Other food banks started calling us. Houston Food Bank reached out to us. At the launch, in the first hour of the launch, we raised 1 million meals. 10 entrepreneurs stepped up and said, nothing doing. If hunger is an issue, and we are all doing well here in this country, this land of opportunity that has given so much to us, 10 entrepreneurs stepped up, and each one of them committed to 100,000 meals. And we raised 1 million meal in the first hour of the launch in Houston. Friends, I don't want to bore you. We've given you a lot of stuff here, but where we are today, HungerMitao now is launched at food banks in North Texas, Tarrant area, which is Fort Worth, Atlanta, New York City, Houston, Seattle, and lucky 7 is Gleaners. So we are so excited and so pumped up about that. And we know that the Indian community in Michigan, I lived in Michigan again for a long time. So many of our friends are here. We are going to rock and we are going to make a huge difference. And I want to also share with you one other thing. We chose to work with the Indian American community to prove this model because we come from India. Most of our connections is from India. But coming from the corporate world, from get-go, we templatized everything. Ours is an open source model. Our vision has been that if this can work for the Indian American community, it can work for other communities. It could be the Korean community. It could be the Pakistani community. It could be the Bangladeshi, Chinese. It could be the LGBTQ community. It could be any group of people that call themselves community. And I'm happy to share with you that recently, beginning of this year, the Chinese American community reached out to us, especially after the pandemic. There was a lot of ethnic violence, etc., that was taking place. The Chinese community said, we need to be seen as a community that's giving back. They looked at the HungerMitao model and said, can we use this model? We not only gave them our model, we mentored them, we gave them all our network, and in a matter of weeks, we had them up and running. And in just 2 months, they raised 250,000 meals for North Texas Food Bank, and they are off to the races. We were hoping to only do this within the United States because the food banking system works within the United States, and we are big fans of that. But you'll be happy to know that Canada also reached out. Tata Consulting Services has adopted HungerMitao, and their Canadian employees actually got upset at us. They said, this is not fair. Why is HungerMitao only in America? We want you here in Canada. So we said, okay, if you are up to it, let's make it happen. And guess what, folks? We just did a HungerMitao month in August in Canada, and 13 food banks across Canada, they did food drives and raised funds and helped the needy in that region. So just sharing with you, the power of the community is what the HungerMitao brings to the table, and we are excited about this.
So thank you for joining today. And I know there's a lot of initiatives that are going on within our own friend circles in Michigan who are already supporting gleaners. Please keep doing that. After the pandemic, the need is so great that we always tell our listeners and our friends to please plan their philanthropy budget for the next 3 years with a little portion going to the food bank, because the need will exist for a while. So thank you all. We are so happy together. Let's remember, our impact is amplified. And like you all heard, nothing's going to HungerMitao. It all goes to the food bank, which you are doing currently. And the food bank will then calculate the impact, and that enables us to tell a story. Together, we are able to tell a story. Together, we are able to proudly say that we have now enabled 40 million meals.
Yep.
Listeners, we hope you found this of value and informational. Just a reminder, if you have family and friends in Michigan, please let them know that the movement that you support here has now also reached Gleaners Food Bank in Michigan, and encourage them to support it.
And get engaged. So friends, until next week, remember, we may never be able to eradicate hunger, but no one should go hungry.
HungerMitao.
कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे चलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कभी सुख कभी दुख, यही जिंदगी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। ये पतझड़ का मौसम घड़ी दो घड़ी है। नए फूल कल फिर नगर में खिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। भले तेज कितना हवा का हो झोंका, मगर अपने मन में तू रखिए भरोसा, मगर अपने मन में तू रखिए भरोसा। जो बिछड़े सफर में तुझे फिर मिलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहे कोई कुछ भी मगर सच यही है, लहर प्यार की जो कहीं उठ रही है, लहर प्यार की जो कहीं उठ रही है, उसे एक दिन तो किनारे मिलेंगे। उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे। कहाँ तक ये मन को अंधेरे छलेंगे, उदासी भरे दिन कभी तो ढलेंगे।